Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on here and give you some new symptoms and some updates. I did my first video last week. It was a little bit over 30 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this one shorter. No, it hasn't even gotten any views. I think it's gotten like 2 views, but we're going to keep at it. And then maybe I can post on one of the Facebook groups for FND about this channel, and maybe some of you guys can reach out and connect to me. So Friday, it had been a really stressful week. I won't go into all of the details, but like I said, we do work camp and we sell on eBay. And then my husband and I have been together 26 years. And as this FND kind of progresses, it's just a lot to get used to. And it causes problems, Sorry, tick, itch. Anyway, it takes a lot of getting used to, and that's growing pains in a marriage. Like you move to the mountains, you don't have internet, you're trying to sell online on resale, and that's based on the internet, and you're trying to get like an awareness out about FND, and you're trying to work camp and he works another job. And we just a few months ago had one of our dogs that we had passed away, and everybody has their own stories. So it was just a stressful week. And so Friday I was working in the park for a little bit, and it was really like I had the flu. I couldn't hold my eyes open. I would just kind of zone out, which I do disassociate with functional neurological disorder, but not like this. This was different. And so I went to bed at like 3 on Friday, and I never do that. I had things to list, pictures to photograph, still some more work to do, housework. And I just didn't feel right. Something just did not feel right. And so I woke up Saturday morning, and we had an estate sale to do Saturday morning. And I remember sitting at the table and people talking to me, because I was taking the money, and it was just nothing, like I would kind of answer them back, but then my head would just bob. And so I automatically thought, what in the world is happening? Am I getting narcolepsy? What in the Sam Heels has this disorder done to me now? So immediately, I'm so fortunate, like I said before, that I have a wonderful primary caregiver. My husband calls him and explains to him what's going on, and then we get in touch with the psychologist, and he's out of the country, but he responds and is like, I think you're going to have to go to the ER if your symptoms don't improve. This isn't a good sign. And it was kind of really depressing for me. So it was kind of giving me bad thoughts. I'm just like, what am I doing here? Why am I in this body? What am I doing here? I can't control anything. And I'm sure some of you guys out there feel like that with FND. And so luckily, my primary care told my husband a couple of ways to mix up my medication to kind of change it around. And he said that I was having psychogenical, I'm going to butcher that one, seizures. And so apparently what that does is they mimic narcolepsy. I think they can come in other forms, but the most prominent is narcolepsy. And so Saturday afternoon, like before we heard the results, before we had talked to my primary care, because he was on a retreat, so it took a couple hours for him to get back to us about what was going on. I was sitting on the couch, and I don't ever sleep in the car because I'm scared that I'm going to have a wreck, or somebody that the person that I'm with is going to have a wreck and I'm not going to know it. I don't sleep on the couch. Like, I suffer with insomnia. And I'm not here to whine about all my medical problems. Please don't think that. Like, if you're new to my channel and you don't know what FND is, it's a brain disorder, and it has several different forms, and does several different things, and it's always evolving and changing, it seems like, at least in my case. And anyway, so he told my husband to mix up some of the medication. That was in the wrong spot. See? We had done talked about that. We're going to go back to, I was sitting on the couch and I was just completely not off. And then I was eating, and literally in the middle of chewing my food was like, just out. With food in my mouth, just gone. So we knew something was really wrong. And then my primary care had gotten back to us and was like, this is progressing. It's kind of past the point. I was having pseudo seizures. So this is we're stepping up the game now. We went from the right side, because I have brain damage on the left side. It's just gray matter in my frontal lobe. So we went from primarily issues on the right side where I'd have tremors, or it would look like I had Parkinson's, or every now and then my right hand just throws stuff. It just that it'll have something in it and it decides it's done and it'll just sling it. And so we were informed that I'm having what's called psychogenical. And again, you'll have to look it up. I should have looked it up before I even started this video, because I don't know how to say it. I just know what they said it was. Seizures. And he advised that if I was still having it Sunday morning, I had to go to the ER. I had to get a CT of the brain, MRI of the brain, to show if I was actually having mini strokes. So when I changed up the medication, and I am not advising anyone for anything medical. I'm just telling you my story. So take it as you will. Consult your physician before you do anything medically with FND. So what he advised me to do was to take an anti-anxiety medication along with one that kind of calms the nerves in the brain, along with like a seizure type medication, to combine all of those three and go to bed and stay in bed for a couple hours, get like some decent sleep, and see how it went. So I did that, and I got up, and Saturday night continued with narcolepsy. And I just gave up Saturday night and went to bed. Luckily, I woke up Sunday and I was pretty much back to normal. I do feel like I have a little bit of foggy brain, like it's off, like something just is almost like it's, I don't know. I've never been in a coma. I don't know how these things work, but it feels like I'm coming out of some sort of deep rest or deep kind of spacey offness, I would say. That's not a word. Again, not going to edit, just going to post whatever's on here. Y'all are just going to get it. So that's what happened. Have any of y'all experienced this? Is it something that you're familiar with, and how do you handle it in these situations? Because I'm at a loss and I can't, I can't really continue to keep struggling with this disorder, and not have a handle on it, and I know functional neurological disorder is still like in the unknown. It's still in the world out there, to where some of the older physicians think it's just mental health. They got a mental health problem. Put them in a psych ward. Do this, do that. So it scares me to death, the thought of having to go to a hospital or anything like that. So I do have an appointment with my psychologist for this week. My primary care, I have an appointment going to be coming up. We're going to change out a few of my medications, see if it works. Everybody says with functional neurological disorder, two of the main causes is stress and sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, and if you're under too much stress. And I'm a worry wart. Like, I worry about things today. I worry about things coming up tomorrow, next month, next year, 20 years. My brain never stops turning. And so it's going to be trying to figure out the balance of how to kind of alleviate some of the stress. And I was told I'm not supposed to be driving anymore. So up until this point, I could drive. So now that's taken away. And this is what I had talked about in the last video, that at least I had a little bit of freedom, you know, that I would only drive like 15 minutes from my house, but now I'm not even supposed to do that. So it just keeps slowly taking things from me, you know, and now it's kind of starting to take a toll on the couple of friends that I have left and other close relationships. And, you know, like losing your ability to work a normal job, losing your ability to drive, losing your ability to just go out in public and not feel like you're going to have something happen to you with your brain is a big thing. And this disorder like chips away at you. And I think like that's why I'm on here, is like I'm not on here saying, you know, this is the worst disease ever, because my best friend died of leukemia and that was horrible. And that was just a couple of years ago. And I'm not on here begging for anything or, you know, like a poor, pitiful me. I just want to interact with some people who know the disease. Not disease, that's the wrong word. I hate it when people use that word, this disorder, and see what your symptoms are and see how you manage them. And we don't need to give each other medical advice because everyone's case is different. But if there's some sort of technique that you use, like coloring or crafts or meditation, I think it's helpful, you know, if we can share other things that can kind of help each other out, or, you know, have a buddy system or something that, you know, if there's people in your family that don't understand, or friends, or, you know, you feel like you're losing everyone around you and you're losing your freedom, it's important to have someone that you can hook up with and say, hey, this is a really bad day and I kind of need some help. Because I'm fortunate that I have access to my doctor almost all the time because I did work with him and I have a very good relationship with him. He's a wonderful man. And not everyone has that. And so in so many ways, I'm lucky with this. And some of you guys aren't as blessed, I should say, maybe would be a word. I don't like to use that word a lot, but you're not fortunate enough to have access to a physician that will be there for you and support you. And you can call him on the weekend and say, hey, this is something new and I need help with it. You know, and maybe on our next episode, if you'll tune in, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to do this because I'm not on here to like get coffees or monetized or whatever. But if you'll subscribe, if you have FND, like hang out with me. We'll talk about ticks because that's a new thing that's kind of come up recently. I kind of thought it was, but I would laugh it off. And so there's a lot of things that my brain like picks up phrases on. And so my last thing, we had watched Magic Mike, and when Matthew McConaughey goes, all right, all right, all right. Yeah. So that has been a constant. I have to say it. Like I have to say it and it has to get out of my head. And I say it at stupid times for no reason. It doesn't have any meaning to it. Like I just have to say it. And now that I've said it, I need to say it again. It's driving me crazy. All right, all right, all right. So that's something too that, you know, I kind of thought we would go into more depth next time about tics and about the psychogenic. Every time I think of that, I think of like mushrooms. I think of like For some reason, my brain confuses it with hallucinogenics. Anyway, we'll talk about those kind of seizures and what they do and the different types. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. And I hope today finds you well. And if you are struggling with FND, please hang in there. You are needed and valued in this world. And I told my daughter I started a YouTube page. So if my daughter listens to this to the end, she lives out in Washington, everyone, and she's fabulous. Like, I have the best daughter ever, and she's amazing. I'm so proud of her and the woman she's become, and she's got something kind of special going on today that she wants to learn about and hopefully have a new career path to go down. So, honey, if you're listening, your mama loves you so much, and I hope everyone has a good day.